looking to have a very good game coming up tonight.
Yes, we do. The 6th and 7th team in the OAC. It's going to be a great battle, a great game tonight. Very important implications to this game. The top 8 teams get to the OAC tournament, and the top 4 teams get the home court advantage. So, very important game for these 2 teams tonight.
I mean, yeah, it really is a very important game for both these teams. And like we said, it really has OAC tournament implications on the line tonight, as the Muskies are looking to go to 5 and 6 in the OAC, and the Crusaders are looking to go 6 and 5. And the big thing with the Muskies this year has been they started very hot, but then they've really been cold down the stretch here, as they were on a 3-game skid, and they're really looking to get a big win tonight because they need to get back on track if they are going to, 1, get in the OAC tournament, and 2, hopefully try and host a game.
Yep, tough loss against Heidelberg in that overtime loss. Hopefully they'll be able to bounce back from that game. They got players to do it. They got great leadership. Coach Schwab has them in a good form right now. So you just got to keep calm and just keep playing your game, and everything's going to fall into place.
Yeah, and actually the game you were talking about is the Baldwin-Wallace game.
Wallace,
yeah,
yes,
Baldwin-Wallace, they lost on Saturday 89-83 at Baldwin-Wallace after winning in overtime I believe it was a month or so ago here at the ANC Steel Center. And then those 2 games before then were, I believe they lost to Ohio Northern at home in another tough game, and then they lost at Mount Union on the road in another tough game. So the last 3 games have been losses, but they've been very close games, and I really believe Coach Schwab will be able to really get his team to play hard tonight, and obviously wants to come out with a win, and I think he'll be able to get them to believe in themselves, because obviously they're going to feel a little bit down, but they have no reason to. They have the talent on this team to win a lot of games.
So what do great coaches do? They come back from a tough loss. They get their players ready. They get especially their young guys. They play a lot of young guys. You know, they were probably down after these past couple of games, but you got to move on. It's on to the next game, and you have to. They got a very important game today, and we'll see what happens tonight.
Yeah, and on the Capital side of things, they are sitting at 10 and 7 on the year after beating the Fighting Muskies in an 86-68 pretty much blowout at Capital on December 8th. As we mentioned a little bit, it was a close game at the beginning of the first half, as they were winning at halftime by 6 points, but then the second half they really just kind of lost it, as Capital really just blew them out in the second half, and it made the score look a lot worse than it really was.
Yeah, it was a tough pill to swallow for that team. They had it going in the first half, and like you said, it just didn't work for them in that second half. That was at Capital. This time it's at Muskingum. They got the home court advantage, so the guys have to take advantage of that. And if they do, they ride this crowd. Hopefully they'll come out with the W tonight.
Yeah, and this home court has been very good for the Muskies this year, as I can't remember many losses. I know they lost to Marietta here and they lost to Ohio Northern, but other than that, I don't think they've had any losses here at the NC Steel Center. They've struggled a little bit more on the road. But they've been playing very, very good on here.
Yeah, they love playing on their home court. You have to, especially if you're in the home team. You got to love playing on your home court. Hopefully they'll get it done tonight and spoil the Capital Crusaders coming into the town.
And with that, we're going to take a short break here on the Orbit Media Sports Network. But when we come back, we will have final preparations for the game here at the ANC Steel Center.
Visit us at the Crumb and Cup behind the John and Annie Glenn Museum to warm up with a cup of soup and a hot drink, or grab a sandwich and some dessert. Stop in the Crumb and Cup Alley Cafe, where we take pride in making your day.
The Forum, we're that kind of restaurant.
Want to celebrate after your team's unbelievable victory? We're that kind of restaurant. Hungry after a late night of studying? How about a late night drive-thru? We're that kind of restaurant. Need a place to wind down after a long day? How about a full-service bar? We're that kind of restaurant. With great prices, great food, and a great environment, we're that kind of restaurant.
The Forum Restaurant, because life was meant to be enjoyed.
Welcome back to the ANC Steel Center, as I am Michael Pagano alongside Joe Scott here for the Fighting Muskies game against the Capital Crusaders. And with that, we're going to send it down to our sideline reporter, Chris Morgan, as he has some words for Coach Schwab.
Thanks, guys. Coach, last time out against the Crusaders, got outscored in the paint 42-14. What's the difference going to be tonight to get that number switched back around?
You know, we just need to be really aggressive, but it's got to be smart aggressive. You know, we preach aggressiveness, but we can't foul. We just got to be really solid on both ends of the floor.
And recently, we've seen a big offensive explosion from Josh Keys. Is he looking to get his shot more often, or has that just been the way the game has unfolded?
He's just the best teammate and the best leader. He'll only do what's best for the team, and recently it means scoring more. So I'm really happy with his evolution over the last 2 years.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck. Back to you guys.
And thank you, Chris. And with that, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will have the final preparations and the keys to the game here. So keep it right here on the Orbit Media Sports Network.
Sweet chocolate-covered marshmallows. Smooth, delicious pretzels. Divine chocolate treats of all kinds, all handcrafted and available right here in historic Cambridge. Unleash your inner chocoholic with nothing but chocolate. Located on 731 Wheeling Avenue in Cambridge, Ohio.
Authority in East Central Ohio is ESPN Cambridge, FM 107.9, AM 1270 on your radio dial. Featuring great programming like Mike and Mike, Dan Lebitard, Ohio State basketball, Reds baseball, Blue Jackets hockey, select NFL games, and college football and basketball. ESPN Cambridge is also your local sports authority too, featuring local high school sports all year round, with some viewable on cable TV 2 in Cambridge or streaming online at yourradioplace.com/YRPTV. Your home for sports is ESPN Cambridge, FM 107.9, AM 1270.
Look at all these televisions. This is no less holy. A miracle of flat screens and premium sports packages, all in the service of a sports fan's basest desires. So while this isn't the heaven, it is a heaven. And this one serves beer, which is a nice twist.
Buffalo Wild Wings, located in Zanesville and Cambridge.
And we are back here live at the ANC Steel Center. I am Michael Pagano alongside Joe Scott as we are just about ready to get things going here between the Fighting Muskies of Muskingum University and the Capital Crusaders, as both teams are getting warmed up, getting off some final shots as we are about 2 minutes here before tip-off. And what do you think is the key to victory tonight for the Fighting Muskies if they want to win this pivotal OAC matchup?
All right, keys to the game tonight. For the Fighting Muskies, share the ball. Assists will be key in this game. They're averaging 12 per game, not too bad, but they can do better. They're key players tonight. Joshua Keys and Jerome Marsh have to play a big part in these big games tonight. And don't panic, relax, play your game. If you're down by a couple points, don't panic, you'll be just fine. And for Capital, they have troubles at the free throw line, so have confidence at the free throw line. They're shooting 64%, so they know they can be better. And their key player, Tyrell Jackson, has to play a big, huge part in this game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on sharing the ball for the Fighting Muskies. If they have really struggled with that so far this season. But with that, we are going to take a break as they are going to go to the national anthem. But when we come back, we will have your tip-off here on the Orbit Media Sports Network.
Visit us at the Crumb and Cup behind the John and Annie Glenn Museum to warm up with a cup of soup and a hot drink, or grab a sandwich and some dessert. Stop in the Crumb and Cup Alley Cafe, where we take pride in making your day.
The Forum, we're that kind of restaurant.
Want to celebrate after your team's unbelievable victory? We're that kind of restaurant. Hungry after a late night of studying? How about a late night drive-thru? We're that kind of restaurant. Need a place to wind down after a long day? How about a full-service bar? We're that kind of restaurant. With great prices, great food, and a great environment, we're that kind of restaurant.
The Forum Restaurant, because life was meant to be enjoyed.
Sweet chocolate-covered marshmallows. Smooth, delicious pretzels. Divine chocolate treats of all kinds, all handcrafted and available right here in historic Cambridge. Unleash your inner chocoholic with nothing but chocolate. Located on 731 Wheeling Avenue in Cambridge, Ohio.
Your one-stop shop for all things computer-related is ABC Technical Services. Whether it's designing a new website, website maintenance, PC repair, or over-the-phone tech support, ABC Technical Services has you covered. ABC Technical Services can set up a new network, install the latest antivirus software, and they even offer full video production and editing services too. Give them a call at 740-432-5605 or visit them online at abctechnicalservices.com. A name you know, a name you trust. ABC Technical Services.
Look at all these televisions. Is this heaven? Have we all died and gone to the sports afterlife? No. But this place is no less holy. A miracle of flat screens and premium sports packages, all in the service of a sports fan's basest desires. So while this isn't the heaven, it is a heaven. And this one serves beer, which is a nice twist.
Buffalo Wild Wings, located in Zanesville and Cambridge.
Alongside Joe Scott, as we're just about ready to get things going here, as they are going through the starting lineups, and we should have the regular starters for the Muskies and Jalen Page, Marcus Dempsey, Ricky Wilson, Jarrell Marsh, and Josh Keys. And for the Crusaders side of things, we should have Austin Schreck, Tyrell Jackson, and then I'm not 100% sure. I believe Brennan Zuckren will be in there as well. And then I'm not 100%. Trying to wait and see them introduce them. So you definitely have Austin Schreck and Dan Auble as well, and then you have Tyrell Jackson, and then for the Crusaders, they are introducing that looks like Nate Boone. So it will be Schreck, Nate Boone, it will be Dan Auble, and then it looks like
Tyler Jamison. Jamison at the center position.
All right. And it's always kind of tough for the away team to try and figure out exactly who you got going, because obviously you don't watch them every game like we do with the Muskies. So you know the Muskies guys, but it's a little tougher for the Crusaders. But we are just about ready to get things going here, as it actually has turned out to be a pretty big crowd here tonight at the NC Steel Center. And it's going to be a very big game, as we've been talking about all pregame here. And the Muskies are looking for a big win, just as the Crusaders are. So we are about ready to get things going.
Yeah, I'm ready to get this game started. A great crowd here tonight, actually. A lot of students are here to cheer on their guys. Great atmosphere. It's going to be a fun game, a very important game. So can't wait to get this thing tipped off and started.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of students have been coming to the games this year, as the Muskies have been playing a lot better. And it's kind of exciting to see. As we are about ready to get things going, Josh Keys and Tyler Jamison going for the tip ball here. The ball is up, and it will go to the Crusaders and Austin Schreck. And Schreck gets it over to, I believe, Nate Boone, who gets it out to Jamison, who gets it over to Tyrell Jackson, who gets it back into Austin Schreck, who is out on the wing. He gets it into Tyler Jamison, who gets it out to Nate Boone, who takes a three-pointer and misses it, as Jalen Page takes it back up the court. He gets it over to Ricky Wilson on the left wing, and he gets it back out to Jalen Page, who is up at the top of the key, and he's getting the offense rolling here. He's looking to find the open man. He gets it to Ricky Wilson out three-point line. Jarrell Marsh back out at the three-point line, who gets it to Josh Keys out at the three-point line. He dribbles in. He's looking to drive into the lane, who gets it to Jalen Page back over to Marcus Dempsey. And Marcus Dempsey decides to take the shot, and he misses it. And the rebound, I believe, goes to Nate Boone for the Crusaders. And Nate Boone has the ball up at the top. And then Nate Boone gets it into Tyler Jamison, who's backing up Josh Keys, and Josh Keys comes up with a great steal, and Marcus Dempsey picks up the ball, and he is taking it up the court. He's looking to drive in. He gets it out to Jalen Page on the three-point line. Jalen Page looking to drive in. He gets it back out to Ricky Wilson, who looks to take the three, but he does not. And then they get the ball over to Jarrell Marsh, and he gets it into Josh Keys, who gets it to Jalen Page, who takes the three, and he misses the three. And the rebound will go to the Crusaders and Austin Schreck, who takes the ball right back up the court. He gets it over to Tyrell Jackson, who takes the three, and he misses it. And it looks like it will be a foul inside on Ricky Wilson on number 33, Nate Boone.
You've seen a lot of ball movement from both teams. Capital Crusaders are doing a lot of high ball screens here in the early part of the game, getting some good shots off in the post, but a great defense by Josh Keys earlier in the early possession.
Yeah, and that's been one thing the Muskies have struggled with, is guarding the big men of other teams. But the Crusaders do have the ball back up the top of the key with Tyrell Jackson over the three-point line, who gets it into Tyler Jamison. And Tyler Jamison gives it back to Jackson, who takes the three, and he misses the three. And a rebound by Ricky Wilson, who gives it to Jarrell Marsh, who's going to take the ball up the court. He's up at the top of the key. He's looking to try and drive in. He gets a good backdoor to Jalen Page, who gives it back to Josh Keys, and he was blocked, and he ends up losing the ball and giving it back to the Crusaders and Tyrell Jackson. He gives it out to the top of the key, and Tyler Jamison, who gives it back over to Dan Auble, who gives it to Austin Schreck. So a lot of passing by both teams, as you mentioned. Has the ball back up at the top of the key, and he gets it to Schreck, who gets it to Jackson, who gets it back to Auble, who gets it back to Nate Boone, and then he gets it inside to Tyler Jamison, who's trying to back down Josh Keys, and he does back down Josh Keys, and he throws it up, a little bit of bouncing around, but he was able to get the shot to go, and those are the first 2 points for either team, as it is 2-0 here with about 17 minutes left to go at the beginning of the first half, as Marcus Dempsey has the ball up at the top of the key. He's dribbling around, trying to find a good one, and he gets it to Ricky Wilson, who's wide open for three, and he makes it. So a great shot by Ricky Wilson, who I believe is 5th in the conference in three-point percentage, and he is the Muskies guy, as Jacob Geller is getting the set to check in for the Fighting Muskies, as the Crusaders have the ball back up at the top of the court with Austin Schreck, who has it back up at the top over by the three-point line. He gets it into Tyler Jamison, who takes the shot, but he does not, who gets it to Dan Auble, gets it to Nate Boone. He gets it back into Tyler Jamison. Great defense by Josh Keys, but it does bounce off of Keys' hand right before it goes out of bounds, so it will stay with the Crusaders as Jacob Geller comes in for Ricky Wilson. Have a substitution for number 33, Nate Boone. That looks to be number 12, Ganayu Yahaya, who is a freshman, I believe, so he's getting a lot of minutes this year. And the Crusaders get it back into Jamison, who get it back out to Dan Auble for a wide-open shot, and Dan Auble misses it, and he passes it right to Marsh, and he gets it back to Keys at the top of the key, who gets it over to Marcus Dempsey on the left side, who gets it into Josh Keys, and Tyler Jamison flies over Josh Keys, but they do not call a foul, and Josh Keys gets the easy layup, so it is now 5-2 in favor of the Fighting Muskies here as the Crusaders bring the ball back up the court. He gets it over to Austin Schreck at the top of the three-point, who gets it, tries to drive in. He gets it over to Yahaya, and Yahaya gets blocked by Jacob Geller. Great defense there by Jacob Geller.
Looks like early from the Capital Crusaders, they're trying to get Tyler Jamison the ball in that post because they know the Muskies don't have great size in the post, so they're trying to get him started early in this game.
Another check-in for the Muskies as Josh Glass comes in for Jarrell Marsh, and another Crusaders substitution as I believe that was Tyrell Jackson came in, but the Crusaders gave the ball inside to Ganayu Yahaya, and he gets the easy layup and is now 5-4 in favor of the Fighting Muskies. Marcus Dempsey has the ball at the top of the court, and he gets it over to Jalen Page, who almost takes the three, and he drives all the way. He gets a good shot, but it gets blocked, and then he gets the ball right back as the Crusaders had the ball, and Jalen Page took it, but then a couple passes, and then a three-pointer by Josh Glass is good, so it is now 8-4 here for the Fighting Muskies, who have been looking very good over the first 5 minutes, and another steal by the Muskies by Josh Glass. And then, wow. So Josh Glass drove it in. He tried to get it to Josh Keys. He missed a layup. Josh Glass got the rebound. He missed the layup, and then it comes back to the Crusaders. So a missed opportunity. And then the Crusaders go back down the court, and I believe that is a three by Dan Abel. No, excuse me. That was number 22, Joey Wingartner, with the three-pointer, though, as he was the one that subbed in for Tyrell Jackson. So the Muskies have the ball back at the top of the key. It is 8-7 in favor of the Fighting Muskies here, as Josh Glass has the ball at the top of the key, and plenty of subs are looking to come in for the Muskies and one for the Crusaders as well. As Marcus Dempsey gets the ball, he drives in, he misses the shot, and Josh Keys gets the rebound. And it looks like they call a foul. I'm not quite sure who they called that on. It might have been number 13, Dan Abel, and Dan Abel is coming out of the game. And Robbie Heisey comes in for the Muskies for Josh Keys. Jarrell Marsh comes back in for Marcus Dempsey, and then Devon Pert comes in for Jalen Page. So they get it right back out to the three-point line after the foul, and Jarrell Marsh nails the three-pointer. So the man that came in for the Crusaders was Jaden O'Neal. And the Crusaders have the ball back up at the top of the court. They find a wide open Ganayu Yahaya for an easy layup. And it is now 11-9 here in favor of the Fighting Muskies with 13 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in the first half. Devon Pert gets it over to Josh Glass, who dribbles around a little bit. He's looking for an open man. He gets it over to Jarrell Marsh. Jarrell Marsh almost takes the three-pointer. He gets it back out to Josh Glass. And Josh Glass takes the three-pointer, and he misses it. And Robbie Heisey with a great rebound, who gets it into Devon Pert. And Devon Pert puts up the shot, and he misses it. So another missed opportunity there, as it looked like the Muskies could have gotten some points there. But the Crusaders get the rebound, and they set up their offense. As I believe that is Jaden O'Neal with the ball, who gets it over to Yahaya. He gets it back to number 22, Joey Wetgutner, and Jarrell Marsh gets the rebound. And Jarrell Marsh drives it back up the court, and he almost takes the shot, but he gets it over to Josh Glass. And he passes it to Josh Glass, who passes it out to Jacob Geller on the three-point line. And another three-pointer made for the Fighting Muskies, as they've been making a good amount of three-pointers at the beginning of the first half here. As the Crusaders get the ball back up at the top of the court. They're looking to drive it in, and it does. And there was a foul on it, as that was number 3, Austin Schreck. He drove in, and I believe they got the foul on either Robbie Heisey or Jacob Geller.
I believe it was Robbie Heisey.
So pretty quick over the first 8 minutes as Schreck goes to the free throw line. The first shot is up, and it is no good. It looked like it might have been good, but it rolls out. As two more men come in for the Crusaders. In number 40, Caleb Cox, and then it looks like Dan Abel comes back in for the Crusaders as Schreck gets ready for his next free throw. And this one is good, so that makes it 14-10 in favor of the Fighting Muskies. As Jacob Geller will give it to Devon Pert, who's going to be the one setting up the offense with Jalen Page obviously out. So Devon Pert brings it up. He passes it over to Josh Glass at the three-point line, who has it to Robbie Heisey out at the three-point line. He gives it, and Jarrell Marsh makes his man miss with a great crossover move, drives in and puts it up for 2. Great move there by Jarrell Marsh, so the Crusaders bring it right back up the court, and they give it to Joey Wetgardner, who gets a very easy shot, and he makes it. So it is now 16-12 in favor of the Fighting Muskies, with Devon Pert bringing it back up. He looks to almost take the 3, and then Robbie Heisey gets it inside the paint, and he almost tries to dunk it, but he falls out of his hands, and he misses the shot. And then another shot missed by the Crusaders as they bring it in to Yahaya, who had an easy layup, but he just missed it. And then Josh Glass gets the rebound for the Muskies. And Devon Pert has the ball up at the top of the key. He passes all the way over to the end of the court to Jacob Geller on the three-point line. Jacob Geller, but then he gets it back over to Jarrell Marsh, and Jarrell Marsh takes the three, and he misses the three, and it is rebounded by Yahaya. And Yahaya gets the ball poked out by Jacob Geller, and they do say it goes out of bounds on Yahaya, and they are going to give the ball back to the Muskies. It looked like that might have gone out on Josh Glass, but they didn't see it.
Seeing a lot of great hustle plays by the Fighting Muskies. You can tell that they really want this game right now, showing a lot of energy.
Yeah, I mean, they really are. As Ricky Wilson checks back in for the Muskies as Jarrell Marsh has the ball back up at the top of the court, and I believe it was Josh Glass going to the bench for Ricky Wilson. And then they pass it all the way around, and now Devon Pert has the ball. And Devon Pert, Josh Keys, who was about to take a shot, and then a kickball violation on the Capital Crusaders, and it stays with the Muskies as Devon Pert comes out in favor of Jalen Page. So Jalen Page will be the one passing in for the Muskies. He gets it to Marcus Dempsey, who's almost looks to take the shot. He crosses over his man. He gets it back over to Jalen Page, who gets it to Jarrell Marsh out at the top of the key. Jarrell Marsh looking to drive in. He does drive in. He puts up the shot, and he almost puts it in, but just missed. And then the ball bounces around, and Jalen Page ends up with it for the Fighting Muskies, and he gets over to Marcus Dempsey, who's looking to drive in, who gets back over to Jalen Page, who gets over to Ricky Wilson out at the top of the key, and Ricky Wilson's driving in. He puts up the shot. He misses the shot, and then almost another rebound, but they were not able to come up with it as the Crusaders get the ball to Dan Auble, and then a very bad pass for Dan Auble there as he was trying to get it inside to Caleb Cox, and it is picked off by the Fighting Muskies and Jalen Page. So Jalen Page has the ball up at the top of the key, gets it over to Jarrell Marsh, and Jarrell Marsh he puts up the shot, and there is a foul. Looks like they say it is on the floor, so I do not believe Jarrell Marsh will be going to the free throw line. Excuse me. No.
No, they got him on the floor.
I was going to say, I thought it was on the floor. So it is on the floor, and Jarrell is going over to talk to Coach Schwab as he is coming out of this one. And then Ricky to throw it in, and he gets over to Marcus Dempsey, and Marcus Dempsey makes a move, and he puts up the shot, and it is good. A two-pointer there by Marcus Dempsey. It is now 18-12 in favor of the Fighting Muskies, about halfway through the first half here. So Dan Auble has the ball for the Crusaders as a few men are looking to check in for the Crusaders. As the man that came in for Jarrell Marsh was Andrew Robinson, the freshman. And then the Crusaders pass it around a little bit, and it looked like it was Caleb Cox with the shot, and it gets blocked, but then Yahaya gets the rebound and puts in an easy layup. So Jalen Page gets the ball back at the top of the court. He gets it over to Marcus Dempsey out on the three-point line. And Marcus Dempsey's looking to give it around. He gives it over to Andrew Robinson, who gives it to Ricky Wilson. He back out to Marcus Dempsey on the three-point line. He was almost about to take the shot, but it was not a good shot for him. And then he gets it back over to Ricky Wilson, who puts it into Josh Keys, and Josh Keys makes the shot. So a great play there by Josh Keys. As the Crusaders are passing it all around here to Tyrell Jackson, who gives it over to Dan Auble, who gives it to, I believe that is Joe, who gives it back to Caleb Cox, who gives it back to Tyrell Jackson. And Tyrell Jackson gives it to Dan Auble. And Dan Auble drives in, gives it back to Caleb Cox. He's driving in. He puts up the shot, and he makes the shot. Goes right around Josh Keys and makes the shot as it is now 20-16 in favor of the Fighting Muskies here with 8 minutes and 52 seconds left to go in the first half. A very quick first half at that here as Jalen Page has the ball back up the top of the court. He gives it over to Marcus Dempsey, and Marcus Dempsey gives it back over to Jalen Page. And then Jalen Page drives in, gives it back to Marcus Dempsey, and he takes the wide open three, and he makes it on the bank. The bank was open on that one. 23-16 in favor of the Fighting Muskies. A very good shot. It was a little far, but that's why the backboard is there.
Yeah, so he's going to say he meant those buddies.
Yeah, as the Crusaders take the ball back up the court, as I believe that was Dan Auble. No, that was not Dan Auble. That looked to be Joey Wittengartner, who took it himself and made a very tough shot. So it is 23-18 as it is a quick timeout here by the Fighting Muskies, and with that we will take a timeout with them. So keep it right here on the Orbit Media Sports Network, 23-18 in favor of the Fighting Muskies.
Visit us at the Crumb and Cup behind the John and Annie Glenn Museum to warm up with a cup of soup and a hot drink, or grab a sandwich and some dessert. Stop in the Crumb and Cup Alley Cafe, where we take pride in making your day.
The Forum. We're that kind of restaurant.
Want to celebrate after your team's unbelievable victory? We're that kind of restaurant. Hungry after a late night of studying? How about a late night drive-thru? We're that kind of restaurant. Need a place to wind down after a long day? How about a full-service bar? We're that kind of restaurant. With great prices, great food, and a great environment, we're that kind of restaurant.
The Forum Restaurant. Because life was meant to be enjoyed.
We are back here live at the ANC Steel Center. I'm Michael Pagano alongside Joe Scott. 8 minutes and 17 seconds left to go here. 23-18 in favor of the Fighting Muskies as they get the ball coming out of the timeout. And Jalen Page has the ball up at the top of the key. He goes over to the right top of the the right part of the key here as he gives it back over to the inside to Josh Keys, who looks to drive in. He gets it back out to Jalen Page, who takes the three and he misses it, and a rebound by the Crusaders. And the Crusaders bring it right back up the court. And Austin Schreck was trying to take it all the way, and he was not able to do so as it got stripped out by, I believe that was Andrew Robinson, who got the steal. And then he gives it back over to Jalen Page. Jalen Page drives it himself and takes the layup. 25-18 in favor of the Fighting Muskies. And I believe that is Dan Auble up at the top of the court for the Crusaders, who gives it over to, it looks like Austin Schreck, and then he gives it over to Nate Boone, who gets it inside to Tyler Jamison. Tyler Jamison looking to drive in on Josh Keys, and he's trying to do so. He puts up the shot. He misses the shot. Good defense by Josh Keys, and he gets the rebound. And then Jalen Page with a fantastic pass, a no-look pass to Andrew Robinson, who's wide open in the paint, and he makes the shot.
Great court vision by Jalen Page. You get that easy bucket for the Fighting Muskies.
Yes, that was great court vision, and a timeout taken by the Crusaders, and we're going to stay with you on this one here. But what have you seen so far in this game?
Well, what I'm liking so far, you can see the Muskies are sharing the ball. They're getting their teammates involved. They're taking good shots right now. They're getting a lot of open shots, too, so that's a great sign for them. They're also, you've seen a lot of hustle plays, too. They're getting after loose balls. They're getting a lot of strip steals. They're getting a lot of good steals. So there are a lot of good signs right now in this first half for the Fighting Muskies.
Yeah, I mean, they've been looking very good here with 7 minutes left to go here in the first half. 27-18 in favor of the Fighting Muskies. And like you said, they're really sharing the ball, giving everybody a chance to make some shots, and they have been making their shots so far. So the Crusaders get the ball coming out of the timeout as comes in for Jalen Page, and Jarrell Marsh comes in for Marcus Dempsey, and then the Crusaders on the inbounds. Dan Auble throws it over Nate Boone's head, and it is coming out of bounds. So the Muskies get the ball back here as Jacob Geller also checks in for the Muskies, as well as Josh Glass. So basically a whole new starting five, with the exception here for the Muskies as Devon Pert has the ball up at the top of the key. He's looking to drive in. He does drive in. He gives it back to Jacob Geller at the top of the key. Jacob Geller looking for someone to give it to. He gives it in to Josh Glass, who's looking to drive in. Josh Glass drives in, puts up the shot, and he misses it. And then a good rebound as Josh Glass kept it alive, and it ends up in Josh Keys' hands, and he makes the layup. As the Crusaders have the ball at the top of the court, Tyrell Jackson with the ball. Tyrell Jackson drives in, looking to do it himself. And then a foul on Josh Glass. It looked to be a reach-in on Josh Glass. As three new Crusaders come in, as it looks like Tyrell Jackson, Nate Boone, and what Austin Schreck come out for the Crusaders in favor of, it looks like, Gavin Wildermuth, and then I believe Wetgartner came in as well, and I believe that was Wetgartner that took the shot there, and he makes the shot. Yes, that was Wetgartner who makes the three-pointer for the Devon Pert. Brings the ball back up to the top of the court, who gives it over to Josh Glass, and Josh Glass dribbles around. He's looking to drive in. He gives it in to Josh Keys in the paint, who gets it back out to Jacob Geller. Jacob Geller drives in, gives the ball over to Jarrell Marsh, and Jarrell Marsh looking to find a way for the offense. He drives in himself. He gives it over to Josh Glass. Josh Glass drives in, puts up the shot. Blocked. And it will be a shot clock violation for the Fighting Muskies. Just couldn't find anything to do quick enough with the ball here. So it will go back to Capital as Dan Obel brings the ball back up at the top of the court. And another man that checked in for the Crusaders was Will Hanna, number 11, as they are trying to find it as Dan Obel is up at the top of the key. He gets it inside to Tyler Jamison, who's trying to back down Josh Keys, gets it back out to Dan Obel. Dan Obel's driving in. He gets it to Joey Wetgartner, and then Josh Glass almost comes up with the steal, and then they give it back to the Crusaders, and Josh Glass believed it was off of the Crusaders, but it was not, as Josh Keys for Robbie Heisey.
Yeah, he may have had a case there. I thought he hit off the Crusaders player, but hey, the referee thought of another.
As the Crusaders are passing it in. And another almost steal by Robbie Heisey. Great defense so far for the Fighting Muskies here with 5 minutes and 23 seconds left to go in the first half. As the Crusaders are having trouble even getting the ball in play. I mean, as they get it over to Joey Wetgartner. Joey Wetgartner is hot right now from three as he makes another three and cuts the lead down to 5 for the Fighting Muskies. So it is now 29-24 in favor of the Fighting Muskies. Devon Pert has the ball up at the top of the court. He's dribbling around. He gives it over to Jarrell Marsh, who drives in. He gets it back out to Josh Glass at the left side of the key. He dribbles in, and he almost takes a shot, but he gives it over to Jarrell Marsh at the top of the key, and Jarrell Marsh looking to find a way to vote with the ball. He crosses up his man. He takes the shot. He makes the shot. A great play, really making something happen out of nothing there for Jarrell Marsh. A great shot by Jarrell. As the Crusaders bring the ball back up the court, as it was Jaden O'Neal at first, but he gets it over to Joey Wetgartner, back over to O'Neal, and then they get it into Tyler Jamison. He's trying to back down Robbie Heisey this time. They get it back out to Wetgartner. No, that is not Wetgartner. That was Will Hanna. And Will Hanna with a few nice moves and a turnaround jump shot, and it is good. So the Crusaders are starting to shoot the ball very well, but the Muskies are holding them off so far with good shooting of their own. As Devon Pert drive all the way in, and he gets blocked on the layup attempt, and then the Crusaders go right back down the court for another 2 points. So it is now 31-28, and the Muskies are going to take a timeout. And with that, we're going to take a quick timeout with them, as it is 31-28 to go. So keep it right here on the Orbit Media Sports Network.
Sweet chocolate-covered marshmallows. Smooth, delicious pretzels. Divine chocolate treats of all kinds, all handcrafted and available right here in historic Cambridge. Unleash your inner chocoholic with nothing but chocolate. Located on 731 Wheeling Avenue in Cambridge, Ohio.
Authority in East Central Ohio is ESPN Cambridge, FM 107.9, AM 1270 on your radio dial. Featuring great programming like Mike and Mike, Dan Lebitard, Ohio State basketball, Reds baseball, hockey, select NFL games, and college football and basketball. ESPN Cambridge is also your local sports authority too, featuring local high school sports all year round, with some viewable on cable TV 2 in Cambridge or streaming online at yourradioplace.com/YRPTV. Your home for sports is ESPN Cambridge, FM 107.9, AM 1270.
Welcome back to the ANC Steel Center. I am Michael Pagano alongside Joe Scott as the Muskies pass it in to Jalen Page. He drives all the way into the basket and he gets fouled, and he makes his first free throw and he makes his second free throw. So a quick 2 here by the Muskies. It is 33-28 in favor of the Fighting Muskies as Jaden O'Neal has the ball up at the top of the court. He gets it over to Will Hanna, who gets it over to, I believe that was Joey Wetgardner with the ball, who gets it back over to Will Hanna, and Will Hanna drives in. Will Hanna with a few nice moves, and then they try to get it over to Tyler Jamison, and Josh Keys gets away to the pass, and then the Muskies get Marsh drives it in. He gets it to Marcus Dempsey. Marcus Dempsey feels the contact but still gets up the shot, and it is good. So an and one for Marcus Dempsey.
Great shot by Marcus Dempsey. Get the and one opportunity. They needed that one right now to get some momentum before the end of this half.
So Marcus Dempsey's looking to make a three-point play, and he does so. So a good shot and a good play by Marcus Dempsey as the Crusaders bring the ball back up the court with Jaden O'Neal. He gets it over to, I believe that is Will Hanna, who gets it over to Joey Wetgardner, who gives it back to O'Neal. O'Neal drives in, gets it back out to Will Hanna, who gives it inside to Tyler Jamison. Tyler Jamison looking to back down Josh Keys, but he has to give the ball back out to O'Neal, and O'Neal takes the three, and he makes the three. A good shot by O'Neal. Kind of a rushed attempt there by the Crusaders, but he was able to knock down the shot. As Jalen Page brings the ball back up the court, he gets it inside to Josh Keys. Josh Keys drives in on Tyler Jamison. Good move by Josh Keys and a good shot. So that is two for the Fighting Muskies. 38-31 in favor of those Fighting Muskies. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left to go here in the first half as the Crusaders do have the ball. Joey Wetgardner with it. He makes a few funky moves, and then he takes a shot, but then a rebound by Tyler Jamison. They give it back out to Jaden O'Neal, who gives it back to Will Hanna, who gives it back to Gavin Wildermuth, and Wildermuth does have the ball now at the top of the key. He's looking to find something to do here as they have 15 seconds left here on the shot clock. He is dribbling around. He gets it inside the Tyler Jamison, but is stolen by Josh Keys. Another steal, and a lot of steals so far here in the first half for the Fighting Muskies. He gives it over to Jarrell Marsh, who's up the top of the key, and then he gives it in to Josh Keys, who is running Joey Wetgardner as he is trying to grab the ball, and it's a foul on Wetgardner as three more new Crusaders come in for Jaden O'Neal, Joey Wetgardner, and Gavin Wildermuth. It looks like Dan Abel, and then Yahaya also comes in for Will Hanna. So pretty much a whole new five here for the Crusaders. And then they pass it into Jarrell Marsh, does Ricky Wilson. And Jarrell Marsh up at the top of the key. He's looking to drive in. He gives it over to Jalen Page, who gives it back to Jarrell Marsh, who gives it inside to Josh Keys, and he's looking to make another move on Tyler Jamison, but he's not able to do so. They give it back out to Jarrell Marsh, and Jarrell Marsh drives in. He should have went for the shot, but he passes it back out to Marcus Dempsey as he had a wide open lane. And then Marcus Dempsey takes the shot, and he makes the shot. So it looked like Jarrell Marsh could have made the shot himself, but he decided to give it out to Marcus Dempsey, who was able to make the shot himself. So Dana Oppel does have the ball up at the top of the court. He gives it over to Tyrell Jackson, who also checked in. Tyrell Jackson gives it over to, I believe that is Shrek for the Crusaders, who gives it back to Yahaya. And Yahaya runs into Ricky Wilson, and it looks like it was a foul on Ricky Wilson. I believe it is going to be on the floor, and it is on the floor. As Jacob Geller's going to check in for Ricky Wilson. And then Tyler Jamison's going to come out in favor of, I believe that is Caleb Cox for the Crusaders. As the Crusaders give the ball back up at the top of the court. And Yahaya gets it. He tries to drive in. He was not able to make the shot. And then a rebound by Jarrell Marsh after a tip off of Jacob Geller. Marsh looking to Coach Schwab to see what he needs to do on this one. He gives it over to Jalen Page, who gives it to Marcus Dempsey, who gives it back to Jacob Geller. And Jacob Geller up at the top of the key falls over, and it is a travel. That is always going to be a travel as he fell over with the ball. So it is a travel, and it is back to the Crusaders. 45.8 seconds, 40-31 in favor of the Fighting Muskies. As Dan Abel has the ball up at the top of the court. He's trying to find something to do here. He looks like they're going to try and go 2 for 1 here. He's really holding it for a shot. 10 seconds left to go on their shot clock. To Caleb Cox, and Josh Keys almost with a great defensive play, but just a little too hard coming down. It is a foul on Josh Keys. So that will send Caleb Cox to the free throw line, as Dan Auble is going to be coming out for Jaden O'Neal after this free throw. And the shot is up, and it is good. Jaden O'Neal substitution does happen. 20.8 seconds left to go here. 40-32. As Caleb Cox gets set for his second free throw, and it is up and good. 40-33 here. As Jalen Page gets the ball in from Jacob Geller, they are going to hold for the last shot. Jalen Page dribbling around. He's looking for the best shot possible here with 10 seconds left to go. He gives it inside to Josh Keys, and Josh Keys drives in, and it is almost stolen by the Crusaders, but Jalen Page able to come up with it, and Jalen Page with a great shot. Jalen Page dribbles in. He goes for the reverse layup, and it is good for an and one here with 1.7 seconds left to go. What is Jalen Page? He has been playing very well here in this first half as he gets set for his free throw. It is up, and it is good. So the Crusaders will have a heave here, and that heave is off, and it is no good. So the Muskies are going to go into half here, 43-33, excuse me. And first half for the Fighting Muskies. As we're going to get set to send it down to sideline reporter Chris Morgan as he is with Coach Schwab.
Thanks, guys. Coach, a very fast-paced first half for the Muskies out there. What was the thing that stood out to you most with the guys?
I was really happy with the defensive effort, and I was also extremely happy with how we shared the ball on offense.
Sharing the ball, it's been a lot of ball movement going back and forth. Has that been the game plan from the very start?
Yeah, it's been a work in progress all year long, but we're really starting to make strides in that area. And when we do, we have some good players who are tough to guard.
So what's your message to the team going into the locker room?
Hey, the game is 40 minutes long. We still got a whole half to go. There's a lot of basketball. The score is 0-0 in our mind.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Chris. And with that, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we will have your analysis of the first half. So keep it right here on the Orbit Media Sports Network. 43-33 halftime here at the ANC Steel Center.
Look at all these televisions. Is this heaven? Have we all died and gone to the sports afterlife? No. But this place is no less holy. A miracle of flat screens and premium sports packages, all in the service of a sports fan's basest desires. So while this isn't the heaven, it is a heaven. And this one serves beer, which is a nice twist.
Buffalo Wild Wings, located in Zanesville and Cambridge.
Visit us at the Crumb & Cup behind the John and Annie Glenn Museum to warm up with a cup of drink or grab a sandwich and some dessert. Stop in the Crumb & Cup Alley Cafe, where we take pride in making your day.
The Forum. We're that kind of restaurant.
Want to celebrate after your team's unbelievable victory? We're that kind of restaurant. Hungry after a late night of studying? How about a late night drive-thru? We're that kind of restaurant. Need a place to wind down after a long day? How about a full-service bar? We're that kind of restaurant. With great prices, great food, and a great environment, we're that kind of restaurant.
The Forum Restaurant. Because life was meant to be enjoyed.
We are here live at the ANC Steel Center. I am Michael Pagano alongside Joe Scott after a very hectic, I would say, first half here. And it is a 43-33 halftime lead for the Fighting Muskies over the visiting Capital Crusaders. And I would say the Muskies played a very solid first half.
I believe so. They did. I like what Coach Schwab said at that halftime report. They shared the ball real well, which is has been a struggle for them in the past couple of games. They've been sharing the ball. He's loving their defensive effort. They've had a great defense out there. They're just playing with a lot of effort and energy tonight, which you haven't seen in the past, but it's nice to see them showing that tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it is really nice to see them showing that. I mean, everybody's getting involved, too. That's what I like to see. It's not just Jarrell Marsh. It's not just Josh Keys. Jalen Page is having a good game. Ricky Wilson's had a three-pointer. Everybody that's played seemed to at least have a couple points, except for maybe a few, and it's just been a very good-looking first half, and I'm really hoping the Muskies are able to take that into the second half.
Yeah, you hope to see it through the second half. Since they're getting a lot of good ball movement, they're hitting a lot of easy and open shots, which is very helpful for them, and hopefully they'll continue that in the second half because they haven't done so well in the second half in the past previous games, so hopefully they'll get it changed today in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so, too. I believe Jarrell Marsh had about 10 points. Let me actually.
Dempsey had 10 points. Marcus Dempsey had 10
Okay, so Marcus Dempsey had 10 points, and Jarrell Marsh had around 10 points as well, I believe. And they are always the catalyst for the team, and as well as Josh Keys. Josh Keys has had another great game running the ball, and a lot of steals as well. I mean, they've been stealing a lot of passes. Crusaders have been really having trouble getting the ball inside. I mean, they've been really struggling doing so, and I feel like the Muskies have just made the Crusaders uncomfortable.
Yeah, you could tell in the first half that they were trying to get the ball down low to Tyler Jamison. Josh Keys is doing a very good job in containing him and making it very tough for him in the post. So he's done a real good job. They're doing a nice job rebounding in the post. So it's nice to see them get doing that for this game, and hopefully they'll be able to continue that. It's probably going to be in a very exciting second half.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that too. I mean, I've been saying for a while how Josh Keys and the rest of the bigs for the Muskies have been having trouble guarding other bigs, but they've been doing a great job tonight, and I hope they keep it going because Tyler Jamison hasn't done anything really in the first half except for maybe like 2 or 4 points. And I just like the way the Muskies have been playing. I mean, they've been playing fantastically, and I think if they do this in the second half, it could end up being a blowout.
Yep, they've also shut down Tyrell Jackson, who's their leading scorer. He hasn't had a big game so far, but I've seen a lot of other guys, a lot of their some of their other go-to players that have been playing very well. They've hit some good open 3 shots, so hopefully they'll be able to contain them, hopefully stop the easy shots, and hopefully continue making smart decisions and not turning the ball over.
Yeah, I mean, great first half for the Muskies, not so great half for the Crusaders, but unfortunately that is exactly what happened at the Crusaders' place. The Muskies came out with a good first half and then really faltered down the stretch. But this one is obviously at home tonight, and they have their home crowd who's going to be behind them 100%. So I think they will be able to hopefully hang in there for the second half.
Yep, a lot of great energy in this building right now. Hopefully that'll be able to continue in the second half, and the guys will be able to feed off it.
Yep, and with that, we are going to come back on the Orbit Media Sports Network. We're going to take a very quick break, and when we come back, we will talk a little bit more about what players and plays stood out in this first half. 43-33 in favor of the Fighting Muskies here on the Orbit Media Sports Network.
Designing a new website maintenance, PC repair, or over-the-phone tech support, ABC Technical Services has you covered. ABC Technical Services can set up a new network, software, and they even offer full video production and editing services too. Give them a call at 740-432-5605 or visit them online at abctechnicalservices.com. A name you know, a name you trust. ABC Technical Services.
Joe Scott, 43-33 in favor of the Fighting Muskies here, and they've been playing a very solid first half, dominated by Marcus Dempsey and Jarrell Marsh, as well as Josh Keys, the 3 big keys to this Fighting Muskies offense have really been stepping up and showing why they're the 3 big keys of the Muskies offense.
Yeah, they're the 3 big guys for your team. They're your big 3, if you want to call them for that, for the Fighting Muskies, contributing all on the offensive side, on the defensive side as well, against some key steals. And another guy to look out for is your point guard, Jalen Page. He's had a very great and solid game so far at the point guard position. Hopefully these key guys will be able to continue that into the second half and bring some energy and just have a great second half overall.
Yeah, and for the Crusaders, Joey Wetgartner, very good first half. He's hit a few threes, hit 2 3-pointers so far, but the Crusaders haven't really had that one guy that's really stepped up so far. It doesn't seem like he's made a couple threes, but so is really everybody else. It seems like the Crusaders are trying to find their guy to really go to in the second half, while the Muskies always have their guys that they can go to. It doesn't seem like the Crusaders have that guy.
Yeah, it seems like Whitegunner's been the guy, their key guy, and Tyrell Jackson, but he's not had a very good first half so far. So hopefully he'll get it going in the second half, because you need your key guys in big games like this. But you love to see role players get some good action and get some good plays in the first half. So it's going to be a very exciting second half. The Capital Crusaders probably had a mouth chewing in the first half by the coach. Very strong in the second half. The Muskies have to be ready to bring it in the second half.
And a play that really stood out so far in this first half, as you mentioned it during the game, I believe, was that play, the and one, I believe it was, coming out of the timeout for Jalen Page. That was a big play because the Crusaders were on a little bit of a run there, and the Muskies were able to halt that run after that play and then really just 10 points after the first half, because they were only up by about 4 or 5.
Yep, and it was before the first half, too. It was nice to him to make a key play before going into the locker room in the first half. So, yeah, I'd say that would be our very key game in this first half.
And with that, we are going to send it back to the studio for the Orbit News updates. So keep it right here on the Orbit. 43-33 in favor of the Fighting Muskies here at halftime. So keep it right here on the Orbit Media Sports Network.
Look at all these televisions. Is this heaven? Have we all died and gone to the sports afterlife? No. But this place is no less holy. A miracle of flat screens and premium service of a sports fan's basest desires. So while this isn't the heaven, it is a heaven. And this one serves beer, which is a nice twist.
Buffalo Wild Wings, located in Zanesville and Cambridge.
Visit us at the Crumb and Cup behind the John and Annie Glenn Museum to warm up with a cup of soup and a hot drink, or grab a sandwich and some dessert. Stop in the Crumb and Cup Alley Cafe, where we take pride in making your day.
The Forum, we're that kind of restaurant.
Want to celebrate after your team's unbelievable victory? We're that kind of restaurant. Hungry after a late night of studying? How about a late night drive-thru? We're that kind of restaurant. Need a place to wind down after a long day? How about a full-service bar? We're that kind of restaurant. With great prices, great food, and a great environment, we're that restaurant.
The Forum Restaurant, because life was meant to be enjoyed.
Sweet chocolate-covered marshmallows. Smooth, delicious pretzels. Divine chocolate treats of all kinds, all handcrafted and available right here in historic Cambridge. Unleash your inner chocoholic with nothing but chocolate. Located on 731 Wheeling Avenue in Cambridge, Ohio.
Authority in East Central Ohio is ESPN Cambridge, FM 107.9, AM 1270 on your radio dial. Featuring great programming like Mike and Mike, Dan Lebitard, Reds baseball, Blue Jackets hockey, select NFL games, and college football and basketball. ESPN Cambridge is also your local sports authority too, featuring local high school sports all year round, with some viewable on cable TV 2 in Cambridge or streaming online at yourradioplace.com/YRPTV. Your home for sports is ESPN Cambridge, FM 107.9, AM 1270.
And we are back here live at the ANC Steel Centers. We are just about ready to get things going here in the second half as Marcus Dempsey is getting the ball into Jalen Page here. 43-33 in favor of the Fighting Muskies. I am Michael Pagano alongside Joe Scott with our sideline reporter, Chris. Into Josh Keys. He's looking for someone to give it up to. He does give it up to Jarrell Marsh, who drives in himself, who gives it back out to Ricky Wilson for a wide open three-pointer. And it is missed, but there is a foul on the play on, I believe, to be Dan Abel on the foul there for the Crusaders. So there will be 3 shots for Ricky Shooter. I'm going to say that now, and he's going to miss this one. Yep, and he did. So
look what you did.
I almost didn't say something, but...
The broadcaster curse. We are so sorry.
Oh. Yep. He's still got 2 more, though. He makes that one.
There you go.
So it is 44-33 now, as he still has 1 more to go. That is not first play coming out of the half for the Crusaders. A very big mistake there by Dan Abel, as Dan Abel is the one bringing it up the court. He gives it inside to Caleb Cox, who drives in. No, excuse me, that was Austin Schreck. I thought that was Caleb Cox because he was acting like the big man, and he is not the big man on the Crusaders. But he acted like it on that play, and he was fouled on the play, and he is sent to the free throw line as well. So Schreck is getting ready for his first free throw of the game here. That one is up, and it is no good. Excuse me. Schreck did have 2 free throws in the first half. He puts the second one up, and it is good. So he is 2 for 4 from the free throw line so far in this one. 45-34 in favor of the Fighting Muskies as Jalen Page has the ball up the top of the court. He's trying to get around Dan Abel. He does get around Dan Abel. He gives it inside to Jarrell Marsh, but it is poked out by Dan Abel, but the Muskies were able to pick it back up. They get it back out to Jarrell Marsh, who makes a couple nice moves. He passes it out to Ricky Wilson. Ricky Wilson puts it up, and he almost puts it in, but was not able to get the roll there as the Crusaders get the rebound. And the Crusaders bring it back up the court with Dan Abel, gives it over to Tyler Jameson, who gives it over to Tyrell Jackson. Tyrell Jackson back to Dan Abel. And Abel gives it to, I believe that is Nate Boone, who gives it in to Tyler Jameson. Gives it back out to Nate Boone, and that is a 3-pointer that is good by the big man, I would say, Nate Boone. So a good shot there by Boone, showing his range. As Jalen Page has the ball back up for the Muskies. Jarrell Marsh, and Jarrell Marsh drives in himself. A great move in and one for Jarrell Marsh. Kind of did the up and under, and then he threw the ball back up, and it is good. A great move there by Jarrell Marsh, who has a great motor, I would say, and a lot of good playmaking ability.
He saw the open lane, and he took it. Now he has an and-one opportunity.
And that and-one is up, and it is no good as the Crusaders get the rebound for Tyler Jameson, who gives it to Austin Schreck, and Austin Schreck has the ball up at the top of the court for the Crusaders, who are looking to try and make a comeback here, down 10 here with 18 minutes left to go in this ball game. They give it back around to Tyler Jameson, back to Nate Boone, who gives it to Dan Abel. 13 seconds left to go on the shot clock. Gives it over to Tyrell Jackson. Tyrell Jackson almost pops it up, but he does not. He tries to drive it in. Gets back out to Dan Abel, who was at the 3-point line. He dribbles in. He takes the 2. He misses the 2, and a rebound goes to Josh Keys. Jarrell Marsh with the ball at the top of the key for the Fighting Muskies. He's dribbling around. He drives in again, and he makes another layup. And Jarrell Marsh is really looking to take this one out, as he is limping a tad bit coming back down the court, but he looks like he will be okay, as he took a pretty hard fall on that one. As the Crusaders have the ball back up the top of the court. And Josh Glass almost came in for the Muskies, but they realized Marsh was okay. So the Crusaders, with a couple nice passes, end up getting the ball inside to Dan Abel, who gets an easy layup, and then that will be a timeout. And with that, we will take a... Actually, we're going to keep it here right now with them, as it should be a pretty quick timeout here. But what have you seen so far? The Muskies have been looking to pretty much pick up where they left off in the first half.
Yes, they have. They've brought some great energy here in this second half. Jarrell Marsh going to the basket strong, getting easy buckets. Now having the Capital Crusaders calling an early timeout, so the Muskies are up to a good start in the second half.
And really good. Jarrell Marsh is looking really good. He's had 4 early points so far, and he's really made looking He's really made getting into the lane look easy so far. So they are back out on the court here as the Muskies will have the ball. 17 minutes and 26 seconds left to go in this ball game. 49-39 in favor of those Fighting Muskies. So Jalen Page, he gives it over to Marcus Dempsey, who gives it over to Ricky Wilson, who gives it inside to Josh Keys. It is poked at by Tyler Jamison, but it is out on Tyler Jamison, so the Muskies keep the basketball. Jalen Page is going to be the one to bring it in for the Muskies. He gives it to Josh Keys, who gives it back out to Jalen Page. Jalen Page gives it over to Jarrell Marsh. And Jarrell teamed him on that one, but they give it back to him after he gives it over to Marcus Dempsey. Gives it back to Marcus Dempsey, gives it over to Jalen Page, who gives it over to Ricky Wilson. And then Ricky Wilson tries to take a very contested shot, and it's an air ball, and it goes to the Crusaders. After a few quick passes by the Crusaders, Austin Schreck ends up taking the shot, the three-pointer, over at the left end of the key. Crusaders got the rebound, only to get another three-pointer for Tyrell Jackson in a fought-for rebound and end up being a foul on the Crusaders, and it will be Muskies' ball. So the Muskies get the ball back. No harm done on that possession for either team. And Jalen Page gets the ball back up the top of the key. He's over to gives it to Marcus Dempsey, gives it to Jalen Page, who takes the three, and he misses the three, and the rebound goes to Tyler Jamison. And Tyler Jamison gives it to Dan Auble, and Dan Auble dribbling back up the top of the court. He gives it to Tyler Jamison, back over to Auble, back over to Jamison, back over to Auble again. And he tries to give it inside to Nate Boone. It is over Nate Boone's head, and that's a Crusaders have really had bad communication, and it just led to an over-the-head pass.
Yep, they're not off to a good start here in this second half. Some early turnovers, some miscommunication problems. Coach Goodwin is not liking it right now.
Yeah, as Jacob Geller checks in for Ricky Wilson. And Jalen Page has the ball up the top of the court. He gets it inside to Marcus Dempsey, gets it back inside to Josh Keys. Josh Keys takes a very contested shot, but it comes off right into Jacob Geller's hands, who gets an easier shot, and he makes that easier shot. So it is now 51-39 in favor of the Fighting Muskies here with 15 minutes and 52 seconds left to go in this ball game. As Dan Auble has the ball up at the top of the court, and it looks like there will be a foul off the ball, Nate Boone. As two men are checking in for the Crusaders in Ganoyu Yahaya, and I believe that is Joey Wetgartner coming in for Tyrell Jackson and Nate Boone. And the Crusaders have the ball up at the top of the court. Yahaya has the ball. He's trying to drive in. He does drive in. He puts up the shot. Oh, and another shot attempt as he did get the rebound, and it is blocked by Josh Keys. That is one of Josh Keys', I would say, things is blocking the ball. Blocking and rebounding are really Josh Keys' strength in his game.
Yeah, and he's done that very well tonight. He's been a great in the post. Now with a block on his resume tonight, he's done very well in the post tonight.
Yes, he has, as Jalen Page has the ball back for the Muskies. Gives it over to Jarrell Marsh, gives it over to Marcus Dempsey, back over to Jalen Page, back over to Marcus Dempsey, back over to Jalen Page again. He gives it inside to Jacob Geller, back out to the three-point line for Marcus Dempsey, and it is almost good, but it is no good, and the rebound goes to the Crusaders, who are trying to dribble the ball right quick. They get the ball, they push the ball right up the court, and Schreck misses the over and under layup, but then the rebound to Yahaya, and Yahaya makes a layup as the Muskies get the ball right back up the court as well, and Marcus Dempsey gets fouled, and they will go to the line for two. A really run-and-gun team, really, for both teams. They've really been running up the court game here. As Marcus Dempsey goes to the free throw line. His first free throw is up, and it is good. As it looks like number 40, Caleb Cox, will be coming in for Tyler Jamison. And it looks like Josh Glass will be checking in for most likely Jarrell Marsh as Marcus Dempsey. And no, he is coming in for Marcus Dempsey. So Josh Glass back in the game here for Marcus Dempsey. As the Crusaders have the ball now, back in the Dan Auble's hands, 53-41 in favor of the Fighting Muskies. Dan Auble gets the ball over to, I believe that is Wetgartner. It is Caleb Cox, who gives it back to Wetgartner. Wetgartner gives the ball inside. He does give the ball inside to Caleb Cox, gives it back out to Wetgartner. And then I believe they're going to get the foul on Josh Glass. Josh Glass kind of tried to sell that one a little bit and kind of pop back because it looked like he might have got an elbow to the face. Him, I believe. Yes, they do end up calling the foul on Josh Glass. So the Crusaders get the ball back. And Schreck tried to give it to Cox, and he was not able to do so. As another steal by the Muskies and Josh Keys. And Jalen Page gives it over to Josh Glass, who was not able to make the three-pointer. The ball right back up the court, and he misses the shot as Josh Keys gets the rebound, and Jalen Page has the ball up at the top of the key. He gets it over to the right side of the court for Josh Glass, up at the top of the key as well. He gives it back to the middle of the court, who gives it to Jarrell Marsh, who gives it back over to Josh Glass, who gives it inside. And Jarrell Marsh ends up kind of batting off his man and taking the long three, and he was not able to do so. But Jalen Page gets a long rebound, and they try to get the ball back inside. And then Josh Glass gets the ball back, and then another three on the left side for Jarrell Marsh, and he misses another three, but another rebound by Jalen Page. So the Muskies are really getting a lot of rebounds here, as Robbie Heisey is set to check in, as well as I believe Jaden O'Neal is for the Crusaders, as Jarrell Marsh has the ball back up at the top of the key here. He gets it over to the right side for Josh Glass, who gets back up to the top of the key for Jarrell Marsh, back over to the left side for Jalen Page, back over to the very left of the court for Jacob Geller, who misses the three-pointer on an air ball. Right back up the court for the Crusaders, and a block by Josh Keys, and the Muskies get the rebound, and they bring it right back up. And then they get a wide-open three-pointer for Jarrell Marsh on the right side, and he misses it. And the Crusaders get the ball right back down the court. Austin Schreck, and then another block by Josh Keys. Wow. Josh Keys is out here blocking everybody. And then the Muskies get the rebound again. Jarrell Marsh tries to go in, and he gets fouled, and wow, what a couple minutes.
What great effort by Josh. Great effort by Joshua Keys right there. Amazing.
Yeah, he is amazing. That is for sure. He's had 3 blocks already here in this second half, and I believe he had one in the first half. He's just blocking off the glass like it's nothing. 2 possessions in a row, and the Muskies are looking to capitalize it.
And you can't forget about the little guy, Jalen Page. He's making a great impact in this second half right now, getting a lot of loose balls and a lot of rebounds.
As Jarrell Marsh was able to knock down the first free throw. And then Jarrell Marsh is looking to make his second free throw as well here. And he does make that second free throw, as he comes out of the game for Marcus Dempsey. So it is now Marcus Dempsey. Devon Pert comes in for Jalen Page. And then Robbie Heisey comes in for Josh Keys. And then Tyrell Jackson comes in for the Crusaders, as well as Will Hanna. And then they give it over to Caleb Cox, who gets it inside to what I believe to be Austin Schreck. No, that was Wetgardner, excuse me.
So the Crusaders are sitting in a 2-3 zone right now, trying to slow down this Muskie offense.
And then Josh Glass had the ball up at the top of the key. And then he throws it all the way over to the other side of the court to Marcus Dempsey. And then they get it back over to Josh Glass again, who gets it inside to Jacob Geller for a nice little almost free throw line shot there for Jacob Geller, and he was able to hit it. So the Crusaders do have the ball now. Up at the top of the court, Tyrell Jackson gets it over to Gavin Wildermuth, who gets it out to Ganayu Yahaya, and Yahaya makes a very long three-pointer. Haven't seen him take one so far, and he makes it. So the Muskies have the ball back now. Devon Pert trying to get it over the team. He gets it over to Josh Glass over on the other side, on the right side of the up at the top of the key. Mark Dempsey looking to drive in, and he gets fouled on his attempt to drive in. So that one will be on the floor, but the Muskies will keep the ball here with 11 minutes and 9 seconds left to go here. 57-46 in favor of the Fighting Muskies, as it looks like Ricky Wilson and Andrew Robinson will come in for Jacob Geller and Josh. Excuse me, that one was not on the floor. Marcus Dempsey is going to the line, as I believe that will put the Muskies into the bonus here.
Yep,
the 1-and-1 bonus here for the Muskies. So the first shot is up, and it is Marcus Dempsey there. Almost rolled out, but it did not, and Marcus Dempsey here will have another shot as Tyler Jamison comes in for Caleb Cox. And Marcus Dempsey looking to make another one. That one is up, and that one is no good. And a rebound by Terrell Jackson, and the Crusaders gets it up to the front of the court for Wetgartner.
Ooh, they called it a block.
Yeah, it could have been really gone either way on that one, as Wetgartner was already at the end of the court there when the rebound was gotten, and then Wetgartner tried to drive in, and then the block, and then now that will send him to the free throw line as two more guys are set to come in for the Crusaders, set to take his free throw. That one is up, and that one is good, as it looks like Wildermuth and Yahaya will be coming out for the Crusaders, and it looks like Shrek and what I believe to be, it's like Brennan Zuckren is in now for the Crusaders.
Yeah, it looks like the Crusaders are sitting in a 1-3-1 right now.
As Devon Pert and them are looking to break it, and Devon Pert is up at the top of the key. They are having trouble with this 1-3-1 as they are not able to get it to the open man, who is Andrew Robinson out at the side of the court. And he gets it back over to Ricky Wilson, who Ricky Wilson takes a three, and he misses that three, but great defensive effort by Andrew Robinson. That ball was going out, no doubt. He jumps in and throws it back in, but then I believe what's to be a foul on the Muskies will give the ball back to the Crusaders as Jalen Page, Jarrell Marsh, and Josh Keys are all coming back in for Robbie Heisey, Devon Pert, and Andrew Robinson. And then looks like Jacob Geller will be Ricky Wilson.
Almost a great save by Andrew Robinson right there. He kept it in long enough, but great save by him.
And then now the Crusaders do have the basketball here with Tyrell Jackson up at the top of the court. Tyrell Jackson looking to try to get by Marcus Dempsey, who plays great defense, and Marcus Dempsey kicked the ball on the steal attempt, and he would have an easy 2 points, I would have thought, here with 10 minutes and 28 seconds left to go. 58-48 in favor of the Fighting Muskies. So it looks like Jaden O'Neal will be throwing the ball in. No, excuse me, that is still Tyrell Jackson. So Tyrell Jackson has the ball back up the top of the court. Marcus Dempsey playing great defense on him. Oh, they push, they don't call it. And then he tried to give the ball up to Jamison, who gave it back to Tyrell Jackson. He took the three, missed the three, and then another three ended up being taken by Zuckern, I believe. And then the Muskies get the rebound, and they get the ball all the way up the court for Jarrell Marsh, who made a very acrobatic play there. So another 2 points there for Jarrell Marsh. So now Tyrell Jackson has the ball back up the top of the key, gives it over to Brennan Zuckern, I believe that is. And then they get it out to Zuckern, and Zuckern takes the three. He misses the three. And then they get it back out to Jackson, who takes the three and makes the three. They had the ball, and then he gave it to Zuckern, who took the three. But then Tyrell took the three, and he made the three. So it is now 60-51 in favor of the Fighting Muskies here with 9 minutes and 23 seconds left to go. As Jalen Page gives the ball to Jarrell Marsh. Jarrell Marsh kind of throws a lazy pass over to Jacob Geller and is batted out by Tyrell Jackson, but the Muskies will keep the ball as Dan Auble is coming in for and the Muskies will take a full timeout, and we will take a them. So keep it right here on the Orbit Media Sports Network. 60-51 in favor of the Fighting Muskies.
Look at all these televisions. Is this heaven? Have we all died? No. But this place is no less holy. A miracle. Screens and premium sports packages, all in the service of a sports fan's basest desires. So while this isn't the heaven, it is a heaven. And this one serves beer, which is a nice twist.
Buffalo Wild Wings, located in Zanesville and Cambridge.
Visit us at the Crumb and Cup behind the John and Annie Glenn Museum to warm up with a cup of soup and a hot drink. Or grab a sandwich and some dessert. Alley Cafe, where we take pride in making your day.
And we are back here at the ANC Steel Center, 60-51 in favor of the Muskingum Fighting Muskies here. 9 minutes and 19 seconds left to go in this ball game as the Fighting Muskies are coming off the timeout here with Marcus Dempsey passing the ball. And Page, as Jalen Page is up at the top of the key, over to Marcus Dempsey on the right side of the key. Trying to make moves here. He gets it over to Jalen Page on the left side of the key. Gets it back to Marcus Dempsey up at the top of the key. Gets it back over to Jalen Page, who takes a three-pointer from the left side of the key and misses it. But Jacob Geller with a great rebound tries to get it over to Josh Keys, and it bounces off of his hands. And then the Crusaders dribble the ball back, blocked by Jarrell Marsh. And then the Muskies get the ball back, and Marcus Dempsey dribbles it all the way inside the paint for two. A very, very good block there by Jarrell Marsh on Dan Obel, who Dan Obel didn't even see it coming.
Great hustle play and great block by Jarrell Marsh right there.
That was great. As the Crusaders do have the ball back now, they get it over to Austin, and that is a good three-pointer for the Crusaders. 62-54 here in favor of the Fighting Muskies, who have Jalen Page up the top of the key, who gives it over to Jarrell Marsh, gives it back to Jalen Page, back to Jarrell Marsh, and they're double-teaming Jarrell Marsh now. Gives it back over to Jalen Page. So Muskies are having trouble with this 1-3-1, and they do give the ball back to Marcus Dempsey now, who takes a three, and he misses a three, but a good rebound by Jarrell Marsh, who gives it in to Josh Keys, and Josh Keys has a great play as they did go for the block, and they were not able to get it. So it's 64-54 in favor of the Fighting Muskies here with 7 minutes and 48 seconds left to go. So the Crusaders have the ball back now, as the Muskies are playing man-to-man. And Jalen Page, as they get it to, I believe that was Brennan Zuckren from Dan Obel, who took the shot. He missed the three-pointer. And they get it right back up the court for a wide-open three-pointer by Jarrell Marsh, who misses it. And then a rebound by the Crusaders to Tyrell Jackson. Joey Wetgardner is getting set to check back in for the Crusaders, as they have Tyrell Jackson up at the top of the key, who gives it back to Austin Schreck, who misses it. Then a rebound by Josh Keys, and they get it to Jalen Page. Jalen Page has the ball up at the top of the court. He's looking for what to do it. And it looks like they still have the 1-3-1 zone here. And it looks like Jarrell Marsh back over to Marsh as he gave it over to Page. Jarrell Marsh up at the top of the key, gives it back over to Jalen Page at the left side of the key, gets it inside to Jacob Geller, and Jacob Geller gets blocked on his layup attempt. Then the Crusaders get it right back up the court to Austin Schreck on a great pass by, I believe that was Tyrell Jackson. So it is 64-56 on the layup by Schreck, as the Muskies have the ball here with 6 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in this one. Jalen Page dribbles it back up. He gives it over to Jarrell Marsh, gives it over to Jacob Geller on the left side of the key. He gives it back to Jarrell Marsh in an almost over and back, but Marsh was able to save it. And Dempsey, so Dempsey had it. It bounces off the Crusaders, and then it's still the Muskies' ball as Jacob Geller comes out in favor of Ricky Wilson, as well as Wetgardner coming in for Austin Schreck. So the Muskies throw a hard pass into Josh Keys in the paint, and then he gives it over to Jarrell Marsh in the paint, gives it back to Josh Keys in the paint, and then Josh Keys with a nice left-handed hook for the make. Now Jalen Page and the rest of the defensive crew are going to look to get the stop here on this one, as it looks to be Brennan Zuckren with the ball. No, that is Joey Wetgardner, excuse me. Gives it back to Tyrell Jackson. Gives it back to Joey Wetgardner. And they were trying to get it into Brennan Zuckren, but Ricky Wilson has the steal, and Ricky Wilson gives it over to Marcus Dempsey. Marcus Dempsey is going to be the one running it here. Gives it back to Jarrell Marsh on the left side of the key. Gives it back to Marcus Dempsey up at the top of the key. And Marcus Dempsey looked like he was about to shoot it, but it was not. He gives it back over to Jalen Page, and then they give it back over to Marcus Dempsey. Page on the right side of the three-point line, and he misses his three-pointer, but Ricky Wilson with a great rebound. So they now have the ball right back up with a full shot clock again, as Jalen Page gets it over to Marcus Dempsey, gives it over to Jarrell Marsh, gives it back to Marcus Dempsey, and then a great three-pointer by Marcus Dempsey. Nothing but net on that one. So 69-56 here in favor of the Fighting Muskies.
Yeah, great ball movement around there to get Marcus Dempsey, who almost gets the steal.
as Dan Auble.
What we got? Shot clock, looks like.
So the Fighting Muskies are in this one, as it looks to be a timeout for the Crusaders. I believe this will be no, it will be a full timeout, but we're going to stay right with them on this one. So how do you think the Muskies have been looking? I mean, they've been obviously hanging in there. They have a 13-point lead, and they've really just been to keep this lead, I would say.
Yeah, they've been playing very well in the second half. They've been struggling with that 1-3-1 half-court defense that the Crusaders are showing. What they're figuring out, they're getting some somewhat easy baskets up there. They're getting a lot of rebounds from the backside, which is pretty good when you're playing that kind of defense. So they've been playing well in the first half. They're hitting a lot of open shots. Getting a lot with this last 440. They got to make sure they play hard and make very, very smart decisions.
Yeah, I mean, they can't. Obviously, they don't want to blow this lead here, as they do have a pretty solid lead here with 4 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. And really the catalyst so far has been Marcus Dempsey and Jarrell Marsh. Jarrell Marsh had a good half, and Marcus Dempsey's had a good half, as well as Josh. Just really the guys that are supposed to be the Muskies guys have been their guys today.
Yeah, that was a big three we were talking about. Marcus Dempsey with 18 points, Josh Keys putting in 12, and Jerome Marsh having 15 points. So they've had a great game so far. They're playing well in the second half. They're sharing the ball. They're getting a lot of guys some easy shots. So hopefully they'll be able to finish this off strong.
Yes, I would hope so here, as Dan Auble is going to be the one throwing it in here for the Crusaders. And he gives it to Tyrell Jackson. Tyrell Jackson has that up the top of the key. He's looking to try and no, he takes his three out on the right side of the key there, and he makes that three. It's a little bit of a odd shot. You weren't expecting him to take that one, but it does go in, as Jalen Page has the ball at the top of the key now for the Muskies. He's trying to get past his man, but he's not able to do so. He gives over to Marcus Dempsey, and now Auble is on him. And Marcus Dempsey's trying to get back to Auble, and a foul on Auble as he pushes off of Marcus Dempsey. So that will send the Muskies to the line for the 1-and-1. So Marcus Dempsey's going to look to put in 2 more free throws here and make this lead even wider for the Muskies. And Marcus puts up the first free throw, and he misses it. And the Shrek and the Crusaders gives it back out to Dan Auble. Dan Auble here with the ball, who gives it back over to Tyrell Jackson, who gives it back to Joey Wetgartner. And then they get it inside to Austin Schreck. And I would say Austin Schreck's really kind of been the catalyst for the Crusaders. Yes, he doesn't have many points, but he's really just kind of been everywhere, I would think, so far in this one.
Yeah, he's been everywhere. He's been their hustle guy throughout this entire game. Now he's going to the free throw line, try to get him a little closer to make this last 4 minutes very interesting.
Yes, he does make his first free throw, and that puts it into a 9-point lead for the Fighting Muskies, 69-60, 3 minutes and 55 seconds left to go here. As a Crusader does come in, and that Crusader is Ganu Yuhaya for the Crusaders. So he does make the other free throw, so it's now 69-61, and they're doing a full court press, but the Muskies are able to break it, as Marcus Dempsey almost wasn't able to, who drives it right back in. He misses the shot. Excuse Page. And I believe they're going to say the shot clock never started, because it looks, I mean, it shouldn't be at 28. No. Not quite sure what they had going on there. Yes, they did say it was the shot clock. So it is now at 19 seconds left, not 28. So Marcus Dempsey throws it into Jalen Page. And Jalen Page has the ball up at the top of the key, almost near half court. He's dribbling it in. He's trying to get past his man. He gives it over to Ricky Wilson in a very tough contact on Jaden O'Neal, and then more tough contact. And Jaden O'Neal that contact and goes in and gets fouled by Jalen Page, and he will be sent to the free throw line. So Jaden O'Neal, I believe these are definitely his first free throws of the night so far. And they are. He makes the first one and makes this a little bit more interesting. 69-62 in favor of the Fighting Muskies. 3 minutes and 28 seconds left to go.
See, Crusader is only a 64% free throw shooting team, so this is very important game.
And they did hit the second one as well, so 6-point game. Jalen Page trying to get in with the full court press still coming in. And Ricky Wilson is fouled on the play on the double team by Uhaya and Tyrell Jackson. Tyrell Jackson wanted the travel. No, that was Jaden O'Neal, excuse me. Jaden O'Neal wanted the travel, but they did not give it to him, so that will send Ricky to the throw line. So Ricky Wilson looking to knock down both these free throws and keep the Muskies' lead as high as it can be. And the first one is up and good.
Muskies shooting at 73% at the free throw line, so very important for them to be hitting these free throws in crunch time.
I mean, it really is. You can't miss your free throws if you want to be able to hang in there and win a close one like this one. So Ricky Wilson is looking to make a second one. That one is up, and that one is good. 71-63 in favor of the Fighting Muskies as Jaden O'Neal and the Crusaders take the ball back down the court. Jaden O'Neal gets it to Tyrell Jackson, who's being guarded closely by Marcus Dempsey. And then they get to a wide open Austin Schreck. And then Austin Schreck falls down, and it will be a foul on Ricky Wilson. The Muskies try to double team Jaden O'Neal, and that left Schreck. Ricky Wilson wasn't able to get over there in time, did not commit the foul. So that will send Schreck back to the free throw line for 2 more free throws.
And that will be Ricky Wilson's 4th personal foul, so he's in a little foul trouble right now.
Yeah, he definitely is. He's going to be the one coming out here for Josh Glass. As the free throw is up, and it is good for Austin Schreck, as it is Ricky Wilson coming out in favor of the senior Josh Glass. Really 2 seniors here, actually 3 seniors for the Muskies this year that I can think of, in Robbie Heisey, Josh Glass, and Josh Keys.
Yep.
As the second one is up and good for Austin Schreck to make this one back to a 6-point game here with 3 minutes left. Jalen Page in the full court press is still on. Jalen Page, and it is stolen on the attempt to get it to Marcus Dempsey by Austin Schreck, who has been everywhere, as we said, for the Crusaders. And they get it back to Uhaya, who takes the 3, and he misses the 3, and the Muskies are able to just get the rebound on Jalen Page. Jalen Page gets it over to Marcus Dempsey, and they're able to break the press here. And it will be a timeout for the Muskies. So it will be a 30-second timeout, so we're going to take a very quick break here on the Orbit Media Sports Network. 71-65 in favor of the Fighting Muskies. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to go.
Sweet chocolate-covered marshmallows. Smooth, delicious pretzels. Divine chocolate treats of all kinds, all handcrafted and available right here in historic Cambridge. Unleash your inner chocoholic with nothing but chocolate. Located on 731 Wheeling Avenue in Cambridge, Ohio.
We are back here at the ANC Steel Center, and it is crunch time here between the Fighting Muskies and the Capital Crusaders. As Josh Glass gets the ball into Josh Keys, and gets it over to Marcus Dempsey here. 71-65, 2 minutes and 45 seconds left to go in this ball game. As Marcus Dempsey gives the ball over to Jerome Marsh, who has the ball up the top of the key. And there's 12 seconds left, and it is stolen by Austin Schreck again. And then they get the ball to Uhaya, and Uhaya misses the layup, and Josh Keys gets the rebound. Uhaya is missing some very key shots here, as he's had quite a few shots he could have put down, but he just wasn't able to do so. And I'm not quite sure why the Crusaders got the ball back.
Looks like Josh Keys stepped out of bounds when he got that rebound.
All right, so that makes sense. So the Crusaders do keep the ball, and Uhaya got very lucky on that one. As they give the ball into Austin Schreck, who gives it to Tyler Jamison. He misses the layup. And there will be a possession, but that possession will stay with the Crusaders. So they'll get 2 points that they should have gotten on the last 2. So it looks like Jaden O'Neal will be doing the honors of throwing the ball in here. He gets it into Austin Schreck. Austin Schreck trying to get the ball in. And Austin Schreck
Joshua Keys with another block shot.
Yeah, it looks like Austin Schreck was trying to misses the layup, and the Muskies are finally able to get. And now the Muskies are going to be the ones throwing it in, and they do take the timeout. So the Muskies are really struggling with this full court press.
Yep. The Crusaders are bringing a lot of pressure in this full court press. It's very hard to break it out full court press. So timeout, set up something so they can break this press, because we're in crunch time in times like these. So we got to be able to break this full court press here in the last 2:20 in this game.
Yeah, and with that, we're going to take a quick break of our own here. 2 minutes and 21 seconds left to go here. 71-65 in favor of the Fighting Muskies here on the Orbit Media Sports Network.
Look at all these televisions. Is this heaven? Have we all died and gone to the sports afterlife? No. But this place is no less holy. A miracle of flat screens and in the service of a sports fan's basest desires. So while this is heaven, it is a heaven. And this one serves beer, which is a nice twist.
Buffalo Wild Wings, located in Zanesville and Cambridge.
Over the Capital Crusaders, it is 71-65 in favor of those Fighting Muskies with 2 minutes and 21 seconds, left to go in this ball game, as the Muskies and the Crusaders just come out of the timeout, as the Muskies are trying to figure out a way to break this full court press by the Capital Crusaders, and they're really having a tough time doing so, as Josh Glass is going to be the one to throw the ball in. So Josh Glass gets it into Marcus Dempsey. He is double teamed. He gets it over to Josh Glass. And he is being guarded heavily, but he gets it over to Jalen Page, who's able to get it across half court. And now he is going to chill out at the top of the court here, as there's 17 seconds left to go on the shot clock. He gets it over to Jarrell Marsh. And Jarrell Marsh gives it up again, another double team. And the Crusaders take it right back down the court. That is 3 steals over the last few possessions for the Crusaders, and these have been critical, as it's now 71-67. And the Muskies are just having trouble getting the ball anywhere on this. And there's only 1 minute and 45 seconds left to go, and this has become a very interesting ball game.
Yeah, making too many mistakes in this part of the game.
As the Muskies get a very much needed basket there, as Marcus Dempsey dishes it off to Josh Keys in the paint, and it is 73-67. Big time shot there by Josh Keys, but the Crusaders do have the ball. They get it inside to Austin Schreck. Austin Schreck gives it over to Tyler Jamison, and Tyler Jamison looking for somebody to give it to. He gives it over to Tyrell Jackson. Tyrell Jackson back into Tyler Jamison, and a steal by Josh Glass. And Josh Glass can't get it, and he takes a timeout of his own. So Coach Schwab is not happy with that timeout, but if they were going to be able to hang on to the ball. So we're going to keep it right here with this one. 1 minute and 11 seconds left to go in this ball game, and it has become very interesting, very quick.
Yeah, yes, it has. This is the time of the game where you want to see your key players step up in big-time moments and big-time games and make big-time plays. So we want to see who's going to be that player to step up and change this game right now with just a minute and 11 left, and it's become a very interesting game, a little closer game than what we thought coming into the second half.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been that full court press. The Muskies haven't been able to break it consistently, as there's been 3 steals over these last few possessions for the Crusaders, and that's made it interesting, and the Muskies are just hang in there and win this ball game.
Yep. See, a lot of like you said, a lot of mental mistakes. This full court pressure has been hurting them. Coach Schwab is getting very frustrated, especially with those steals right now. The Crusaders have been trapping them very well in the very good spots to get them trapped. So he's got to be frustrated right now. The players got to be able to make smarter passes and make smarter plays.
Yep, and the men that will probably be taking the shots here are going to be Marcus Dempsey, Jarrell Marsh, or Josh Keys, as they are the 3 guys that have been doing the most scoring with the season. So they're going to be the guys that they really look to, as Josh Glass is going to be the one throwing it in, as the full court press stays on, of course. And they give it to Jalen Page, who's able to dribble, and he's able to get it over half court, and he's holding onto the ball, who gets it over to Josh Glass, who gives it over to Marcus Dempsey. And Marcus Dempsey is holding the ball up at the top of the court with 15 seconds left to go on the shot clock, 58 seconds left to go in this game. Marcus Dempsey's looking to try to figure out what to do with it. He's dribbling around. He's going to look to go, and he puts up the shot, and it is no good. A rebound by Josh Glasso, a big rebound. And the Muskies are able to hold the ball out here, and they do have to foul now. A huge rebound by Josh Glass there, the senior, really showing his experience on that one.
Yep, very big play right there, very big rebound. Now, like I said earlier, crunch time, free throws, very important right now.
And Jarrell is not the best free throw shooter, but I really think he'll be able to knock these ones down right here. First one is up, and the first one is good. And that gives him 16 points on the night, and he is 2 behind his teammate Marcus Dempsey for the lead in the game. So Jarrell Marsh is going for his second free throw. And it is good. 2 big free throws there by Jarrell Marsh as the Muskies are trying to hold on, as the Crusaders are really going to need to move quickly here with 45 seconds left to go. And Joey O'Neal has the ball. He's dribbling in. He gives it over to Joey Wetgardner, and Wetgardner takes the 3, misses the 3, and Marcus Dempsey steps out, but there is 30 seconds left to go. Crusaders are 8 points behind. The Muskies are going to really need to just hang in there. So you do have O'Neal passing the ball in here. O'Neal gives it out to Uhaya, and Uhaya misses the shot, and then another miss. Muskies have the ball, and they are going to still foul them. Seconds left to go, and that will send Marsh back to the free throw line. So basically over here, I would say, as long as nothing crazy happens.
As long as nothing crazy happens.
And this has been quite the crazy game,
yes,
so you never know what's going to happen. So Marsh has 2 more free throws. Up and good. Almost not good. Almost falls out, as he does come up with 18 points now. And he has 19 now. Another good. Marsh stepping up and making some big-time free throws. 21 seconds left to go, and the Muskies are going to basically pull this one out, as Tyrell Jackson chucks up a 3, and then a rebound there, and then a rebound by the Muskies, and they are going to hold this one and win the game 77-67. Huge game here in the NC Steel Center. A big win for the Fighting Muskies. So the Fighting Muskies are very fortunate to be able to pull this one out.
Yeah, they pulled it out. A closer game than we thought, but hey, very exciting game, very good, very exciting game, like I said. Now they just got to keep going and keep building this momentum.
Yep, they definitely do need to do so. As we are about ready to send it down here to the sideline reporter, but we are not, and Chris Morgan, but we are not ready to yet. But the Muskies just were able to hang in there, really not, just basically not choke down the stretch, and that's big in close games.
It got a little scary there towards the end of that game, but they were able to pull this one out.
And we are going to send it down to the sideline reporter, Chris Morgan, as he is just about ready to talk to Coach Schwab and Josh Keys.
Thanks, guys. Josh, a big second half for you with the big blocks in the middle of the period. What was going through your mind as the Capital Crusaders tried to claw their way back into that game?
Just don't let them get back into the game. Do whatever you got to do for your team. Work hard, you know what I mean, and make big plays.
So what's the game plan going to be for you going into the next game on Saturday?
Stay aggressive, stay unselfish, stay humble, trust my teammates.
All right, thanks, Josh. Congratulations. Coach, what are your thoughts on the end of the game?
Really had some composure at times. This team, as I've told you many times, Chris, is a work in progress, and today we took a step forward on learning how to win. That's not an easy team to play. Capital is a very, very good team, but I'm happy with the toughness and the composure our guys showed.
And with the Crusaders trying to make that late comeback, what were you telling the guys in the huddle every time there was a timeout on the floor?
Comes down to toughness, defense, and rebounding, and our guys showed some of that tonight.
So what do you expect from the guys going into the game Saturday on the road against John Carroll?
Nothing that we haven't done all year, and that's come back to work tomorrow, ready to get after it and get better.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. Congrats. Thanks to you guys.
Thank you, Chris. And he said it right there. I mean, toughness. They showed how to win games tonight, and that was big.
Yeah, and they brought a lot of toughness tonight, especially in a very big and important game against these Capital Crusaders. They got to be happy to get this win under their belt and move just one step closer to an OAC tournament bid.
So 77-67, a big win for the Fighting Muskies here at the ANC Steel Center. And after a quick break, we are going to come back with your post-game show here on the Orbit Media Sports Network.
Your one-stop shop for all things computer-related is ABC Technical Services. Whether it's designing a new website, website maintenance, PC repair, or over-the-phone tech support, ABC Technical Services has you covered. ABC Technical Services can set up a new network, install the latest antivirus software, and they even offer full video production and editing services too. Give them a call at 740-432-5605 or visit them online at abctechnicalservices.com. A name you know, a name you trust. ABC Technical Services.
We are back here live at the ANC Steel Center. I am Michael Pagano alongside Joe Scott as we just witnessed a pretty thriller game here between the Fighting Muskies and the Capital Crusaders, as the Muskies were able to pick up a big-time victory tonight, 77-67. And, I mean, what'd you think of the game? I thought it was a great game.
I mean, big time is correct. It was a very important game, very key game for both teams, especially in this OAC tournament run. Muskies were able to pull this one off in a very exciting fashion. Very closer game than we thought towards the end of that second half. Crusaders almost made it a very exciting game, but the Fighting Muskies were able to pull this one off and just move one step closer to an OAC tournament bid.
Yeah, I mean, it really was. And I would say for the Muskies, their big-time player tonight was Josh Keys and Jarrell Marsh. And I'm going to talk about Jarrell. He had 18 points. I believe it was actually 19 points.
Yep.
And he made some big-time free throws down the stretch, had a very good second half. After he only had 7 points in the first half, he ended up having 12 in the second half. So he was really able to step up for his team when they needed him. He did come up. He did lose a couple big steals at the end, but they were able to hang in there. And obviously, Jarrell is the guy for the Muskies, and he just keeps doing it every single time, every single game.
Yep, he had a wonderful game. Slow first half, but then he came out in the second half firing. He had a lot of great defensive plays as well. Had a couple key blocks near the end of that game. So it's great to see him play in a key role in this big game. And Josh Keys, the double-double guy, had amazing performance. I think he had around 4 blocks, I believe. He was all over the place, all over the boards in the paint. So very important game for him, very great big game from him. And hopefully he'll be able to continue that here in the next coming games.
Yeah, and for the Crusaders, you had Austin Schreck. He ended up having a very good game. I mean, maybe didn't have a lot of points, but he was everywhere. I mean, he was always in there, I mean, just doing everything he could to make some plays happen for the Crusaders. And it's not always the guy that scores a lot of points. It's just the guy that goes out there and hustles, and that was Austin Schreck.
Yeah, we didn't really talk a whole lot about him in the pregame, but he came out of nowhere, had a very great performance. He was one of those guys that makes a lot of hustle plays. He's the dirty guy. He gets on the floor and makes all those hustle plays. So it's good to see him make a good contribution to the Crusaders. Just wasn't enough to get past these Fighting Muskies tonight.
Yeah, and for the play of the game, I would say the plays of the game were Josh Keys' blocks.
Yeah.
I mean, those things were big time. They got everybody pumped up here at the ANC Steel Center and really just kept the vibe going, because it just – you know, you never know if the Muskies are – I mean, you didn't know if they were going to be able to hang on, but those blocks, and it just kept everybody into the game and really helped them be able to pull out the victories.
Yeah, nearly got me out of my seat, almost knocked you over a couple times. But he made some great plays near the end of that game, great hustle plays. You love to see that from your leader, from your captain. Hopefully he'll be able to continue that into these upcoming games and continue to be that spark and that leader for this young team.
And with that, we're going to send it back to the studio very quickly for a break here on the Orbit Media Sports Network. And when we come back, we will discuss kind of what's the future few games here for both teams and where they're looking here in the OAC standings here after this big-time game. So keep it right here on the Orbit Media Sports Network. We are back here live at the ANC Steel Center as we just witnessed a 77-67 win in favor of the Muskingum Fighting Muskies. I am Michael Pagano alongside Joe Scott, as we also had our sideline reporter Chris Morgan with some great interviews with Coach Schwab. So with that, the Muskies are on to John Carroll on Saturday in another big game. They beat John Carroll here at home in a thriller. I believe it was a 99-95 win for the Fighting Muskies. It was just an amazing game to go to. And I'm really looking forward to another good game with John Carroll. Obviously, John Carroll's been playing a lot better, and they're at the top of the OAC standings now, 7-3 on the year. But I really think the Muskies can pull it off. I mean, they played well tonight. If they play like that tonight, like they did tonight against John Carroll, they might have a chance.
Yeah, like you just said, if they play like they did tonight, it'll give them a chance to go into John Carroll, which is a hard place to play, and they'll be able to come out with a very key victory in this OAC tournament run. But it's going to be a very important game, but you know John Carroll's going to be looking for some revenge in that game.
Yeah, I agree big time. They are definitely going to be looking for that revenge. But, yeah, it's just big time for the Muskies. They just need to keep playing well, keep playing hard, but I really think they're going to be able to do it.
Yes, I do. They can pull it off, man. They got the athletes. They got the guys to do it. They got a great coach in Coach Schwab. It's going to be a very exciting game. It might be, I mean, it was 99-95 in the first meeting, so it could be some high-scoring action in that game. But, I mean, I like me some high-scoring games. But you got to have some defense. But if it comes down to one of those high-scoring games, it should be a very exciting and fun game.
And thank you to Orbit Media Sports Production at Muskingum University, as they are also made possible in part thanks to contributions from the Office of Academic Affairs, the Arts and Humanities Division, the Theater Department Digital Media Design Program. Our theme music for today's presentation on Orbit TV Channel 9 was composed by David Curley. So thank you to those guys, and thank you to you, Joe, for being with me. For Joe Scott, I am Michael Pagano, and we are signing off here on the Orbit Media Sports Network.